Hi, Sam here at Model Chile, and I was just in the process of rearranging some shelving space, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool to get all of my Star Wars Bandai kits together and see how they compare to each other? And these are all on 1/7/2 scale, so they make a nice comparison to their respective sizes and dimensions. And so you can see there I've got a couple of 1/7/2 scale figures, Darth Vader and a TIE Fighter pilot. And there is some question of whether this A-wing is actually 1/7/2 scale. I suspect it may be a little bigger, but the rest of the TIE Fighters and the Y-wing look pretty much on point. And yes, I know I don't have an X-wing yet, but I am working on it. And I thought, well, why stop here? Let's have a look at these compared to some real-world stuff, since I've got quite a collection of 1/7/2 scale aircraft and tanks, and see how they compare to those. Okay, so here we have a couple of the earliest jets, the F-86 on the left and the MiG-15 on the right. And these are actually die-cast models from Hobby Master, so they come pre-built and pre-painted. And that was how I collected military collectibles before I took up modelling, and I've still got quite a few left. But as you can see, they're very similar sized to the Star Wars fighters. Not a lot of difference there. Of course the performance would be slightly different, but as far as size goes, they're pretty similar. You can see the pilots in there, same scale. To those. And so now let's have a look at some more modern stuff. And now we're getting a little bit bigger with the MiG-29 there, two-seater version. Getting in a similar size to the Y-wing now. And there the MiG-21 from North Vietnam. And so a little bit bigger than the Korean War jets, but still not too dissimilar in size. I'd say that MiG-29 is probably about the same length as the Y-wing there. And let's keep going. So here we have the F-16, which is pretty similar in size to the MiG-29, and a bit bigger than the Star Wars fighters. And then moving over to the F-4 Phantom. So that's probably the biggest one so far. Quite a lot longer than the Y-wing, and certainly bigger than the MiG-29. Got a nice wide shot there. So here's the F-111 from the Australian Air Force, which is technically a bomber, but I guess so is the Y-wing really. But you can see the F-111 is much bigger than all the other stuff. And over here we've got the Su-30, which is probably the biggest one on the table so far. It's just in a completely different size to the TIE Fighters really. It's a massive thing. And again, it's all 1/7/2 scale. You'd think the Su-30 was a bigger scale, but it's same as all the others. It's just a really big fighter. So now try and get them all in one shot. Might struggle a bit, but so you can see the modern stuff is getting quite a bit bigger than the Star Wars fighters. But again, completely different performance really from a sci-fi fantasy universe. You can't really compare them. Just thought it would be interesting to see the respective sizes. And just to finish off, I've got a couple of tanks there. So Darth Vader versus an Abrams and a Sherman tank. Again, same scale, 1/7/2 scale. And a Striker and a T-55. So obviously tanks are a lot smaller than jets and fighters. But as you can see here, just to get an idea of some of the sizes. And yeah, so I do plan to get a lot more Star Wars stuff at 1/72 scale. And I've got a lot of other tanks and aircraft. So if you'd like to see more of this sort of thing, then just leave a comment and let me know what you think. And if you've enjoyed watching or not, let me know if it's been insightful or if you already know this sort of stuff. I just thought it would be interesting. It's something a little different. And yeah, so thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.